You made it. Of course I tried. I thought you couldn't. It's been forever. How's everything, dude? Good to see you. Hello and welcome. My name is Grigory Pekarsky, and today I wanted to talk about success. And in particular, I wanted to talk about success in real estate. I wanted to break down the formula of success. How do you become successful? What are the intricate individual pieces of success? And how do you use that to build a successful real estate business?
In Chicago, the top 20 brokers are typically the same brokers year over year. Why is that? It's because the top producers, they understand a formula to make sure that they get the success that they're looking for on an annual basis. I've been able to do it. I can consistently rely on a $100 million plus business year over year because I respect the success formula. So I want to show you all what that is. I want to break it down into the pieces so that you guys can replicate it. But I want you guys to learn what took me much longer to learn so that you could do it in less time, so hopefully make more money than me. Sound good? Let's get after it. Before we go on, I wanted to say a few thank yous. First, I wanted to say thank you to Chase, to Nate Schwartz, the MVP, the VIP in the room. Chicago backdrop, getting us excited to talk about the topic at hand. They're so excited about today. They're going to buy everybody drinks at Joy District after this. Thank you so much. I also want to say thank you to my team. You guys lift me up every single day. You guys give me the support that I look for. You guys give me my energy boost. I love you all. Thank you all for coming. And I want to thank everybody else for coming, taking time out of your busy schedules to hear about something that I'm quite passionate about. So thank you all for taking time to hear me out. So, who am I? Who's this guy? Let's bring you back to 1985. All right? It was a cold April 27th. Moscow, Russia. This little baby boy was born. All right? My family, we grew up. I was there till 89, 90, followed communism. Great time. And my parents decided, you know what? We want to give our kids, I have an older sister and me, we want to give them a better opportunity. So they ripped up the roots, everything that they knew, everybody that they knew, the culture they knew, the language that they knew, and they moved us to America. We landed in Detroit, in the Metro Detroit area, and they still live there. They're in the suburbs of Detroit area called West Bloomfield. Gorgeous, beautiful place. Love to go visit there with my family. I have 2 young girls and an amazing wife. And when we want to take a break from the hecticness of Chicago, we go over there. I went to Michigan State University for veterinary medicine. I'm not a veterinarian. I love animals. I found out a little bit too late that I love the animals more than I love being a veterinarian. So I went and I became a finance major. It took me an extra semester to finish. That's okay. And I graduated December of 2007, and I moved to Chicago in January of 2008. January going to Chicago, all right? Freezing, cold, dark. We're about to enter our second best Great Depression in the history of America. Fantastic time to move to Chicago. Fantastic time to start in real estate. I had no backing. I didn't know anybody in Chicago. I didn't know anything about real estate. I came here on a fluke. I got an interview at some random real estate company. I didn't know what I was going to do. I said, sure, let me try this out. So I came out here, and I tried real estate. Now, I wanted to start that baseline for you guys to understand that I had nothing. I didn't know anybody. I didn't know anything in real estate. I didn't have family in real estate. I didn't nothing, no base. So what I was able to do in my 14 years, anybody in this room can replicate. They can do these things. It's by understanding the formula, the things that I've learned in my time as a real estate agent. These are the things that you guys can easily take on and replicate and do in hopefully a shorter period of time, because it took me a lot longer to learn than what we're going to learn about today. A few accolades. In my career, I've sold over 3,000 homes. I've done a collective $700 million plus in real estate sales. I've been the top producer since 2013. I've been the top 1% producer since 2016. And as of 2021, my team, the Vesta team, was ranked the #1 independent real estate team in all of Illinois. Can I get a round of applause? You guys all been brilliant out here. Thank you all. Now, when we're just talking about Illinois in general, right? Let's get away from the independent. There's about 50,000, 60,000 practitioners. I have NAR, National Association of Realtors, representation here, so I hopefully got that right. But we are a top 10 team in the entire state of Illinois. Top 10, so it doesn't matter, right? We did 135 million last year. We're gonna do 140 to 150 million this year. I know what I'm talking about, okay? I'm using the things that we're gonna be talking about here to do these things. So listen up, I wanna teach you. Let's begin by breaking down the success formula. We're talking about this. What is a success thing? What are you talking about, Greg? Success is meaningful activities consistently executed upon over a long-term period. That's it. Meaningful activities that Vesta preferred, that's the first part, it's called money-making activities. That's what we call them, MMAs. The second part, executed over a long period of time, that's all about attitude. And I'm going to teach you how to get an unbreakable attitude to make sure that you can execute upon these things day in and day out, because you have to be relentless about these things. That's the formula. Success takes a long period of time regardless of what you're trying to do. The best way for overnight success is by playing the lottery. And if you know the odds of lottery, it's quite low. So this is your sure way, the most sure way to gain success. It doesn't matter if you want to be successful in playing the piano. It doesn't matter if you want to be as big as Arnold Schwarzenegger and be a buff, or if you want to be a great real estate agent. The formula remains the same. So let's break it into the formula for success in real estate, because that is what we're talking about here. All right? How do we break those two pieces down and translate it to a successful real estate career? Well, the first part is the plan. The plan plus money-making activities. That is how you do the first part, right? Meaningful activities done over a long period of time. The second part is just building out that attitude. So, why do we need a plan? Why is a plan so incredibly important to make sure that you can get these activities done right? It's one word. It's focus. Your focus. Because your focus is consistently being attacked. Everybody wants it. It's being monetized. Everybody wants to take you away from what you're doing to what they're trying to sell. They want to monetize that stuff. Social media, AI, has gotten incredible over the 10, 15 years, right? Last 10, 15 years. Now, it's an incredible tool to use for real estate, right? You can get a lot of business for it. You can get a lot of clients, a lot of exposure. But when it comes to your focus, it's terrible. Facebook has become great at poking you with your likes, right? Instagram hearts, TikTok likes, whatever those are. I'm not into TikTok, I'm dancing with my people. But whatever it is, right? They are so good at grabbing your attention and saying, hey, stop what you're doing. Look over here. Your ex just liked somebody's photo. Maybe you should think about that and stop doing what you're doing, Craig. Right? Like, they are so good at that stuff. Now, here's some crazy things. In 2008, every 11 minutes, you are distracted. Every 11 minutes, an average person was distracted in 2008. 2021, every 40 seconds, we are distracted. That's a problem. It's a big problem. Because it takes an average person, what is it? Average person, 22 minutes to regain our focus. So think about that. Every 40 seconds you're being distracted, 22 minutes to get back on. Every 40 seconds you get distracted, 22 minutes to get back on. What happens? This is what happens. Have you ever had days where you're like, what the hell did I do today? I didn't sleep all day. Right? I didn't sleep all day, but I don't know what I did. That is the problem. I've had those days. Me, right? I'm not going to be telling you guys that I'm the perfect executioner of everything I'm talking about here, right? I'm a human. I have lived through my ups and my downs. But we have to understand that our focus, these things are being attacked on a daily basis so we can regain it. Early on in my career, I had conversations with brokers. And in the heat of a negotiation, they would say, Greg, I've been doing this for 30 years. Greg, I've been doing this for 20 years. And in the beginning, I'd be blown away by it. But, oh my God. I mean, I would respect, okay. I need to respect this person. Wow. So what do? I research. How much do they do? What was their sales numbers? Time and time again, I would find out it would be average results. Like $4 million producer, $5 million producer. That's great, right? Like, I mean, that's a good number. But if I was doing something for 20 to 25 years, I would expect to be looking back on Mount Everest. I'd be like, this is what I built. This is incredible. Early on in my career, that became my biggest fear. Is not at the end of my career having something that I look back on and being like, I built this. This is the shit. I am incredible. This is what I built. That became my number one fear. And I kept going and finding out why that was happening to them. And you know why? It's because I realized they were in the business for 20 years, but they were doing the same thing every year. They were a hamster, running and running and running and running, and not adding. They just became where they were. So I started to research and realize, what does it take to become a top producer? And that is what we're going to talk about today. Has anybody seen World War Z? Right? Great movie, zombie movie. Amazing. Yes, I'm about to talk zombies and real estate. I'm going to connect the two. It's going to happen. So in the scene I'm thinking of, Brad Pitt is running, everybody's favorite. He's running, and he goes into an apartment building. The zombies are chasing him. And he goes into a room, right? Because they got a park. There's a family hovering, scared. And Brad Pitt goes, come on, zombies, let's go. Zombies are coming. And the dad goes, no, we have to stay here. We have to stay safe. And Brad Pitt goes, we have to move. The zombies are coming. And the dad says, no, we have to stay here. And Brad Pitt says, movement is life. Movement is life. And that has always stuck with me. Okay? Now what happens? Of course, Brad Pitt gets away. He gets on the roof, kicks the door down. Right? He's running to this helicopter that's waiting for him. And these zombies come running out. Who's the first zombie there? It's the dad. Right? Good job, Hollywood. The dad is now a zombie because he didn't move. Brad Pitt gets away. Good job, Brad Pitt. Why I wanted to say that is that movement is life to me. Is you have to continuously grow and change your business. You have to tweak it. You have to build it. You have to be putting inputs every single day, every single week, every single month to keep building on your career. Do not become a zombie broker. How do we not become zombie brokers? Sit there. Put it back together. Don't become a zombie broker by having a plan. Now, when we're understanding what type of plan will work, we have to understand that we only control one thing on our day-to-day life. That's us. That's what we do. At Vesta Preferred, we call them controllables. Control your controllables because it's the only thing that you have the power of. Too many people, they get so tied up into the things that they can't control. Why couldn't I sell that house? This guy was so mean to me. I'm going to get real mad because the negotiation went bad, or they won't let me into this house or whatever. The only thing you can control are your activities, right? You can't control results. We always say that. You cannot control results. You can only control your inputs on a day-to-day basis, all right? So when we're thinking about that, we have to understand that we only have the control of the types of activities. So before we get into the right type of activities, let's talk about the wrong ones. There's two types, reactive and proactive. What are reactive activities? Reactive activities are comfortable. We react to them. We wait for things to come to us, right? We're not adding into a system, we're milking from the system. That's where most brokers live. That's where most brokers live. What's a reactive activity? Waiting at an open house for buyers to come in. Waiting on floor time for the phone to ring, right? Things that you're not really adding into a system, you're just operating, right? And that's okay, right? I mean, it's not okay because of the speech, but a lot of brokers do that, and they do business. They can do business on that, but your results will always be average to below average if you do that, right? The average salary in real estate is about $45,000 a year, $2 million in sales. That's not bad. It's okay. It's not why you're here, right? You guys aren't here to want to make $45,000 a year. You guys want to do 10x, right? The whole speech is 10x in your business. How do you get to that level, to that next level of what top producers make, right? How do you do that? Is you don't live in the reactive territory, you start living in the proactive territory. All right. So, let's talk about the right activities. What do you have to fill your entire day with? What do you focus on a day-to-day basis to ensure that you're adding every single day? They're called proactive activities, and the sub-agent of that is in-the-moment activities. We talk about this stuff all the time at Vesta Preferred. Proactive activities, we call them money-making activities, MMAs, because they make you money. What are proactive activities? These are the types of activities that would never happen without your input, without your energy, without your skill, without your presence. These are hard. These are uncomfortable activities, right? The things that you have to add to a system. These are the things that help you build your business, right? Proactive activities are what you have to continuously fight for to figure out what you can do on a day-to-day basis. Because then if you're time blocking your day, you're making sure that you're doing these things, you will eventually get to a place where you're going to make the results. That's what you do. You never want to focus again on the results. You only focus on what you can focus on, which is your activities. Focus on your proactive activities. What's a proactive activity example? Calling new prospects, right? What's a proactive activity? Writing letters to sellers, right? Things that are hard. Making reels on Instagram. Use your imagination. You got to use your skill. That is what you have to be filling your day with. Now, the sub-result of proactive activities are called in-the-moment activities. These are the things that happen with your proactive activities. So if you call, right, somebody picks up, in-the-moment activity is qualifying somebody properly, right? Asking the right questions. And great agents, they know the right questions to ask. Hey, you've been looking for 2 years without buying a house. What's going on? Why haven't you bought something yet? Okay, I'm the third agent you're talking to. Why have you fired your other people? Right? These little additional things that agents have become great at over a long period of time to add to the bottom line, add more clients, right? Making sure that they're not wasting their time. Because what a lot of agents do, right? They get so hungry for a sale, a call comes in, and they go, hey, let's go take a look, no problem at all. And they go and show a place, and then they don't build a rapport in the beginning. They don't demand respect, right? So what are they going to get? They're going to get somebody that doesn't respect them for time, whatever. They just become a door opener, right? And that's the problem. Because what great agents have become great at is living in the uncomfortable. Because people, they don't like that for the most part. That's why they don't ask those questions. They don't want to get into it with people. They don't like saying no. Early on in my career, I realized the power of no. Because no will save you so much time. So much time. But a lot of people, they just don't want to hurt somebody's feelings, right? So they just will go with the flow. If you've ever been in a listing presentation, right? Sellers will always push back on you. But you have to remember, you are the expert in the room, right? They have to respect your opinion. And by pushing back and saying, no, you are incorrect, here's why, I came prepared with all my facts and data, right? That starts to get you better listing, better prices, and homes that sell instead of sitting on the market for 6 to 9 months. It's so important right now. So, proactive activities plus in-the-moment activities equal sub-results. What are sub-results? Sub-results are the result before the result. These are things like you get buyer appointments, you get listing appointments, and that's the stuff that you have to really be focusing on. Because the trick is you want to live in the sub-results category. That's where you want to live. The more you're living in the sub-results category, the more homes you're going to close, the more listings you're going to get, the more business you're going to get. If you're focusing all of your energy towards getting to in the moment sub-results, you're going to close more business. Now, you're not focusing on how many houses you're closing, right? You're focusing on how many listing appointments you're getting. You're focusing on how many buyers you're taking. Because those are the things you can control, right? At the end of the day, not every buyer is going to close. And also, not every listing is going to close. But if you have more buyers and more listings, you're going to close more things on average than the average broker. You need to be focusing on living in the sub-results category. Now, why is it so important? So important to be only focusing on activities and not results. It's because what I found out a long time ago is real estate is just a game of math. It's a statistics game. That's all it is. It's all about the numbers. And if you know that, you can then goal set more appropriately than the average broker. Top producers, they know how to set their goals way better than the average broker does. Here's an example. I want to sell 100 houses, right? That's a goal some people have. It's great. I want to sell 100 homes. Average broker, what do they say? That. I want to sell 100 homes. And they're off on their merry way. Hope that 100 homes fall to the left. The top producer says, cool. What does it take for me to sell 100 homes? Well, they know their conversion ratios. And we know, and Vesta Preferred, that 1 out of 3 people will close. That means to sell 100 homes, you need to take out 300 people over the year. Now, your conversion ratio to get 300 prospects that are willing to say, yes, I want to take me out on homes, is 2 to 3%. 2 to 3% of 300 is 10,000 to 15,000 people on an annual basis. If you can talk to 10,000 to 15,000 people on an annual basis, you will get 300 people that say, yes, take me out, and you will close 100 homes. I guarantee you, that's a minimum. Okay, so you keep fighting for what can I control, right? Because you still can't control 10 to 15. What does that mean? It's a lot of people. Okay, great. So then you break it into a daily activity. So you go backwards. I know I said I'm a finance major. I'm very bad with math. So let me look at my numbers here. So you go to 834 to 1,250 people a month, 209 to 313 people per week, 42 to 63 people a day. If you talk to 42 to 63 people a day, and I'm talking about like having a conversation, and you get anything from, yes, I am interested in real estate, to Greg, if you call me again, I swear to God. Somewhere in between there, but you get some sort of reaction. 42 to 63 times a day, I will guarantee you will close 100 homes in a year. That's how you do it. That's the trick. That's literally it. That's the difference between top producers and average producers, is they understand that I'm going to say I'm going to sell 100 homes this year. What? I'm going to call 42 people today. Okay, let's go call 42 people today. Actionable items, proactive, actionable items, uncomfortable conversations, right? Getting good with people telling you to F off, stop calling me. Be like, all right, cool, I'm just going to call the next person. 42 to 63 people a day, right? Now, 2 things. 42 to 63 people a day, it's a lot. I totally understand that. But if you want to sell 10 homes in a year, and divide it by 10, it becomes 4 to 6 people a day. Is that manageable? I think so. Yes. One of the things that one of my biggest mistakes early on in my career is that I didn't understand the power of the network. I mean, everybody talks about it, right? But I didn't actually use the power of everybody that I was meeting, following up with. And this is what I'm talking about. These are the things that I want to teach you guys that took me too long to learn. In the beginning of my career, I should have been taking everybody's name and inputting into the database and building that database and following up with them on a regular basis. I learned that too late. So many names lost. I'd be doing $300 to $400 million this year, probably, if I really got good, because this is all about compounding interest. It's all about actionable things, small things that you do on a daily basis that will eventually get you to bigger and greater results. I'm not talking about changing the world overnight. This is why success takes a long time. It builds on itself. So you need to have a really good CRM, customer relationship management tool, from the beginning. Input people in there every single day, anybody that you meet, and you stay on top of that. Some sort of communication plan. That's so critically important. It really is. That right there is how you set your goals as a top producer. Okay? Now, the visual representation that we have at Vesta Preferred, we call it the bucket principle. This is how we talk about in visuals why this is so important. Imagine every one of your activities is a drop of water. And all you're doing is you're trying to fill this first bucket with proactive and in-the-moment money-making activities. And what you're trying to do is you're trying to get that bucket to overflow into the secondary bucket, the sub-results bucket. That's the bucket with the appointments, taking buyers out, taking sellers out. Because once that bucket overflows, that's when all of your goals are attainable. You get a consistency in your business. you start doing really incredible things with your results. It brings rhythm into your life. MMAs, money-making activities, this system right here, it brings rhythm into your life. Focus, right? Remember the whole word focus? That's what it brings. Because you know on a day-to-day basis what you have to do, right? What are the MMA? What are the money-making activities? What do you like to do, right? Calling people is one way. Going out, networking with people, collecting business cards, it's another way. Everything that you do, anything that you can think of when it comes to building business, right? You just put this plan behind and you start executing on it. Now here's the beauty of it. This is what I learned. Is that no more do I have these days where I'm like, I don't know what to do. I feel like I can be doing more, but I don't know what to do. You don't have direction, right? And a lot of real estate agents, they have it. They just don't have direction. They don't know what to do with their day-to-day stuff. What I've learned is that if you know your plan and your numbers and what you got to do, you can do more in 3 to 4 hours in one day than most people can do their entire day, full day, their entire week, their entire month. Become so much more powerful with your days because you know that as long as you get these things done, the results will come. You don't have to worry about the results. We always say that at Vesta Preferred. We don't care about your results. We don't, because you can't control them. We do care about your activities, and we monitor the hell out of them. Because we will know if success is coming, and we know if failure is as well. We've seen it day in and day out. We've seen it over 14 years of coaching agents. If you do your activities correctly, do your proactive activities, you do your money-making activities every single day, you will find that success, you will find that harmony, you will find that rhythm. It's an amazing, beautiful concept. Once you know what your activities are, what your money-making activities are, you know the flow, you know your conversion ratios, right? You know how many people you have to call, you know how many people are then going to go on an appointment, you know how many people are going to close. All you then do, you start inputting the right stuff into the right inputs, right? So if you have a source, right? Perfect example, pay-per-click ads, right? You have a source all of a sudden that you know if you spend $1,000 on a monthly basis, you get 1,000 people, let's just put it that way, right? And from there, you can then know that ultimately, that will then turn into 2 sales. Just giving you just general examples. So then if you want to 10x your business, right? And you know your conversion ratios and you can do it, instead of $1,000, $10,000. Because you know eventually what's going to happen. That's how you start to 10x yourself, because all this is about is making yourself more efficient. That's all it is, this whole thing. Now, proactive and in-the-moment activities, that's something that you can delegate out, right? You don't have to be talking to people every single day. I have 2 incredible ISAs in my company that are so good at converting leads. They're doing better than me, right? So I just give them the ability to do it, because then what's going to happen? I'm just going to start living more in the sub-results bucket. That's the whole idea. I want to be frolicking through the field of buyer appointments. That's all I want to do. That's literally all I want to do. Now, if you want to keep growing, right? How do people build businesses out of this? Well, then they hire out for their sub-results, right? You have great brokers that can then start taking out their buyers for you. And then you start managing. And then it gets really fun, because then you can see all of these inputs and outputs and all these things, and then you start inputting more there, and then all of a sudden you are now running a company. That's how you do it. That's literally how you do it. You have to know your activities, you have to know your numbers, you have to know all of these things, you have to respect it, and then eventually, this will come. That's how it works. This is how this changed my life. I'm going to give you an example. In the beginning of my career, I was doing rentals. That's where I started. It's probably why I was able to survive as we entered the greatest depression in the world. I didn't know what the hell I was doing, but I was doing rentals. So everybody needed a house. Nobody was buying. Everybody was renting for me. I'm like, this Back then, Craigslist was the thing. Still, I believe you can't even post on Craigslist anymore. It costs money now. But it was free back then. It was crazy. It was a crazy free-for-all. And it was about how many Craigslist ads can you put in every single day, because that will result in calls, without a doubt, every single time. It's just without a doubt. So all I was doing was spending 3 to 4 hours a day posting Craigslist ads. It's crazy. But I was getting, success, and I was getting calls or whatever. It's fine. At the same time, Tim Ferriss, famous author, came out with his first book, The 4-Hour Workweek. I still remember it to this day. And all that was He was just talking about how to figure out which activities make you money that you have to actually do and be present for, and which activities you don't have to necessarily be present for, but they will result in the activities that will get you money, right? The proactives, right? He was talking about that stuff before I even understood what the stuff was. But that stuck with me because it made me think, what was I doing every single day that was taking up the most time that I wasn't making me the money? Posting crisis ads. It's like, okay, let me think about this concept. What if I hired somebody to do this for me? That's what I did. I found a team in India. Now, you gotta give me props. This is like 2009, right? This is like just beginning internet, like world economy. So I found a team in India, and they started to post for me. And the whole idea was exactly that. If I can, let's call it for 10 cents, or maybe 8 cents an ad, something incredibly inexpensive, and I can pay them to be posting these ads, right? I will then result in, instead of 3 to 4 hours of doing that, of 3 to 4 hours more of callings, talking to people, taking out more people on tours or whatever. So I put this plan into action. I am not kidding you, that's what changed my life. That is what changed the trajectory of my life. I started to do so much more business that even the owners of the old company were like, what the hell is Greg doing? Gave me confidence to realize maybe I can start my own company. And what happened? His business blew up. Became the number 1 and number 2. And my God, did we become just crazy egomaniacs. We can start a company, let's fucking go! So we started Vesta under this premise and idea and whatever, and like, you know, here I am. We made it. But it wasn't as easy as that. But that's literally how the whole trajectory of my life changed, is in the very beginning of my career. I took hold of the concept of proactives, in the moment, sub-results, understanding where my inputs are, what my outputs are. And just that one tweak, I'm telling you, just that one tweak changed everything for me. What are you guys doing on a day-to-day basis that you can do that with? Think about it. Think about it. It's crazy. The last piece about activities, the big watch out, the big uh-oh, the thing I didn't tell you about. First bucket has a hole in it. You can't fix it, can't change it. There's always going to be a hole in it. It's always leaking hard work. Always leaking hard work. And I found some bad moments. One day off is 3 days to get back on. That means if you miss a single day, it's going to take you 3 days to get back on to where you were. So that means if you miss a single week, it's going to take you a month to get back on. It's vicious. It's always hungry. Does anybody watch Game of Thrones?
Oh, yeah.
How's Tigerius? Right, Tigerius, the dragon house? I watched it one. Okay. Baby dragons, right? So cute. In the beginning, they're so cute. Little baby eggs, baby dragons pop out. What are they? They're always hungry, right? And you have to constantly then keep feeding them, keep feeding them, keep feeding them. And then when you didn't feed them, right, they just went crazy, messed everybody, ate all everybody's sheep. Very disorderly dragons. But when you feed them and you hone them in, what happened? Build God a kingdom. Feed that dragon and you will build your kingdom. I promise you this. I promise you this. This is what we're talking about. I might change my speech to zombies and dragons. I don't know. We'll see. Anyways, so everybody knows the plan, right? I don't think I'm blowing anyone's mind by saying if you call people, you'll close more deals. Okay? Good job, right? Amazing speech. I'm really happy it came. So everybody knows the plan and success. Why do so many people fail? That's the big question. Why do so many people fail? If you have ever been to the gym on January 2nd and March 1st, it's some pretty different situations, right? And I appreciate it. I love it. You know, everybody starts off their year with like, this is the year, this is me, I'm going to do it. It's going to be a year of change for me. And they start off great, right? First week, I'm feeling amazing. This is awesome. But then what happens? Life gets in the way. All the normal stuff, right? You have a shitty day at work. I'm going to order Domino's tonight. It's crap. I deserve these wings and pizza. Tasty treat. But terrible for keeping you motivated. And then you fall off the next day. I'll go work out tomorrow. And then what happens? They just fall off, right? That is where the problem lies. The truth is, the first part of success is the meaningful activities. That's quote unquote the easy part. The most difficult part is executing upon this stuff over a long period of time. Real estate is going to kick your ass. It is the rites of passage to become a great broker, you have to get your ass kicked. And it's going to knock you off your feet. It's going to keep telling you that you suck. It's going to keep telling you that you're not going to make it. And it's you and only you that's going to decide if you're going to make it or not. So how do you do it? Attitude. That's literally it. We have found that success is 70% attitude. The behavior, that's proactive activities. Technique, expertise, the negotiations, understanding how to pre-qual people, 10%. 70% is attitude. So if you know that 70% of anything is this, is attitude, what should you be working on the most? You should be working on attitude. The Vesta preferred. I only hire off of two things: work ethic and attitude. Because these are the most difficult things to find in agents and people in general. Because most people, they just don't have a natural great attitude. And it's very difficult to teach somebody how to have a great attitude. You just can't do it. We've tried it. It's really difficult. It's also very hard to teach somebody how to have good work ethic. It's very, 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 very difficult to find. So that is why we only hire off of that. There's a concept that we go on. It's called personal rating. Everybody, whether they know it or they don't, rates themselves between 1 and 10. And in real estate, you have to rate yourself at 8 plus. Because a personal rating, what it does, it's either a force field that allows all the negativity, all the no's you're going to receive, to just melt right off, or it could be a low personal rating that tells you you're not good at this, you should stop. When I told you a 2 to 3% conversion ratio, that means out of 100 people you're going to call, 97 to 98 people are going to shut the door in your face. And if you don't have a high personal rating, by call number 10, by call number 15, you say, this isn't for me. I tried it. Real estate ain't for me. Suck. This ain't good. I'm out. People with a high personal rating say, thank you for that no. I am now emboldened to find my yes. But that's the whole idea, right? Like it's the high personal rating. It's your force. It allows you to take on all of that negativity, which you will get 98%, to find that 2 to 3% of the positive good stuff. That's all it is. Here's an example of how me having a high personal rating has allowed me to grow into the broker that I am today. I still remember one of the worst weeks of my career. It's the very beginning when I was doing rentals. I was having a really, really bad month, maybe year. I don't remember exactly what it was, but I needed the deal. I was salivating for a deal. And I started to say yes to anybody and everybody. Came through the door. And this one week in particular, I took 13 people out and not a single person signed. And at the end of the week, I was like, whoa, that sucked. What was that? And I started to kind of self-reflect. And I realized, man, I'm just saying yes to everybody. I'm getting desperate, right? If you've ever been in a car sales situation, that desperation, come, get a car from me. You're like, whoa, man, I'm not going to talk to you, right? It's that weird feeling. And I was projecting the hell out of that all week. I want my sale. Like people were like, oh, yeah. I self-reflected. I realized I needed to pre-qualify better. Newsflash, I'm okay. I'm here. I figured it out. But that is 1 week in a 14-year run on how I took a negative and I realized what I needed to change. A high personal rating lets you do this. No more of the world is out to get me, but what can I do to better myself? Where did I mess up? What mistakes am I making, right? Because you are going to fail. I guarantee you're going to fail. You're going to have a real bad appointment. You're going to have a really bad pre-qual. It's going to be on you to say, could I have done something different? Could I have asked for a question? I can get better. I know I can. Let's go. Next call. That's 1 week in a 14-year run. And I did that time and time and time and time again. And I learned the trade of real estate. That's why all of my agents, they know they can come to me or my business partner with any questions that they have because, man, have we been there before. Any sort of negotiation, any sort of mess up, any sort of problem. We know how to solve. because we were there before and we learned how to get out of it. That is personal rating in action. And it's so important to understand that concept. You guys have to start rating yourselves because you are all amazing people. You guys all have it within you to become incredible brokers that you are here to learn about how to become. Attitude. How do you build attitude? I don't think it's going to surprise you. You do it through money-making activities. Okay, great. So what are the money-making activities of attitude? There's 3. Big wins, little wins, energy boost. What's a big win? No, it's not little wins. I'll build it up. What's a little win? Little wins are making your bed more, doing the dishes, telling your loved ones that you love them. It's these little things, just little wins, little extra pushes, little energy, that if you do on a consistent basis, it's like the butterfly effect. It's this ripple. It's this ripple in time that the more you do, the greater it becomes. It's all about inertia. It's all about physics and real estate. I'm telling you, you do these little things time and time and time again, amazing things will happen. What's a big win? These are the more difficult things. Working out every single day. Meditating. Waking up every single day at a designated period of time. It's called 5 a.m. Before we continue, I want to acknowledge one thing. What I'm talking about is one of the most difficult things for anybody to do. I'm talking about breaking habits. And if you've ever tried to break a habit or learn how to break a habit, it is close to impossible. This is why most people fail. They can't break it. They can't. Remember I told you I'm a human? Okay. One of the biggest, most difficult things for me to break was waking up at 5 a.m. every single day. I have an incredible mentor. Incredible. It took him 3 years of calling me every day at 5 a.m. to get my lazy ass out of bed. 3 years of calling me every single day. I said, yeah, no problem. One day I said I got up, and then I posted something on Facebook like an idiot, saying how awesome it was to wake up at 9 a.m. His wife caught me. Obviously I'm friends with her. She tells Freddie, and Freddie's like, Fred, what the hell is this? He's my mentor, right? He's my coach. But I want to acknowledge, it took me 3 years to break a habit. 3 years. And once I did, and I started waking up in the morning, my God, that was like a next level upgrade in my career, because I was doing so much more. I was working out, I was starting to eat well, I was starting to do all of these things, getting my mind right. And I remember that by 9 a.m. I started to realize that I did more by 9 a.m. than most people were going to do their entire day. I was ready to run through a wall. It was crazy. It was amazing. But it's hard, and I get that. I acknowledge it. It's your journey. You have to fight through it. You have to change these things if you want to become a top producing broker. Now, the last piece, energy boost. Okay? Energy boost, the best way I can describe it is, we like to drink coffee, right? It's that first little, a little kick. Nice. That feels nice. You hear your favorite song, you just want to get up and dance. That feeling, that's energy boost. It's perking yourself up every single day and maintaining that perk throughout the day so that you continuously execute upon your activities. That's the whole game plan, right? You can't miss. That dragon is hungry, guys, and you cannot miss. You have to keep feeding that dragon. You have to keep doing these activities every single day. You have to do everything you possibly can to keep yourself up and make sure that you do it. One of the best ways to have energy boost, I don't think it's going to blow anyone's mind, you gotta sleep well, you gotta eat the good food, you gotta drink water, right? All of that stuff, that's baseline. But besides that, the other way is you have to put yourself in an environment that lifts you up. You have to be amongst people that will constantly push you to be better. When you are down, you're gonna say, Greg, get up, let's go. We'll do some calls together. Greg, you are meant to be great. Let's go. Come on. The best I preferred. We have found through some painful experiences that this is one of the most important, critical aspects of letting anybody into our company. Because there will be people that will become an energy addition, and there will definitely be people that become energy sucks. And we have been there, where there's been an energy suck, and I'll tell you what, they suck all of the energy out. I'm talking about dragons that are hungry. They are hungry for some negativity. They love that shit. So you have to fill your entire environment with people that are lifting you up and constantly pushing you forward. You have to find mentors versus bosses, right? You have to find people that can show you the way, that will take your hand and be like, let me show you, versus yelling at you and telling you, why haven't you done $3 million in sales? That's negative. Versus, hey, look, here's why your numbers aren't where they are, because here's your numbers. Let's dive into it. Let's listen to some phone calls. Let's figure out what you are maybe doing wrong or talking to somebody and showing you tweaking, right? Building up that personal rating. You gotta fill your entire day with these types of people that are lifting you up. One of the biggest energy boosts is your why. Right? Everybody talks about your why. Why do you want to be successful? Why do you want to be a great real estate agent? Why do you want this? A lot of people, they think about material things. I want a really nice house. I want a really nice car. And they put a picture of that stuff. This is important. Because your why, it fills your motivational tank every single day. It is the whole purpose of being. It builds everything around you that makes sense. This is why I want to be successful. In the beginning of my career, I consistently put my why, linked it with my success, with my income, with my numbers. If I do more, I'll be happy. If I do more, that's it. All my problems will be solved. But I realized, as I was becoming more successful, I was actually becoming less happy, right? Because your why is really your happiness. What makes you happy, right? And I was linking it to my numbers and whatnot, and as I was becoming more and more successful, I wasn't finding that happiness. I felt empty. And I remember this one phone call, one of the biggest producers in the city, changed my life. Because I remember that year I did about 20 million, he was at about 100 million. I was like, man, congratulations. You're killing it. You must be thrilled. You know what he said to me? I feel like shit. I feel terrible. Because this guy did 130 million. That blew me away. Knocked me off my feet. Couldn't believe it. Here I am thinking that if I did $100 million, all my problems would be solved, and this guy, he's worse off than me. So I started to really think about it. What is going on? Why am I so just unsettled? Why do I not find happiness when I'm making more money, right? And I realized what I had to do is I had to separate income from happiness. I had to. And then I started to work on what are these things that make me happy. I really started this journey of happiness because I realized if I found out what made me happy, I could find my why. And I realized my why is the time with my girls and my wife. More time with my family is everything that I wanted. I realized every single time I was with these two little munchkins, it made me happy. It filled my life. I wanted to become more successful. I wanted to do more, provide more for them, better experiences, right? And it changed everything for me. It changed what and how I saw what success was. Because I realized that it's okay to want the income. It's okay to want nice things. But it's okay to also be happy while you're getting there. And I can guarantee you, from personal experience, that if you are happy and you choose to be happy, the journey is that much more pleasurable. It is so much better when you're happy. You will get success, I promise you. If you do these things, success will happen. It's literally laws of physics. It's going to happen. You're going to put it into motion. You execute upon it. Get after it. But if you're happy while you're doing it, my God, is it more pleasurable. Everybody? The secret to having it all is knowing that you already do. Change your perspective, change your attitude, change your life. My name is Grigory Pekarsky. Connect with me. Let me know if I can ever answer or help you guys anything. I feel so much gratitude for allowing me the time to talk to you about what's really, really passionate about, and I hope you enjoy it. Thank you.